Well, hello and welcome back to the Blind Country Podcast for our second interview of the day with the CEO of Make 48, Mr. Tom Gray. Tom, how are you, sir?
Hey Jimmy, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming to Make 48.
Absolutely. What a wild time. We're right back where it all started, in the heartland.
Yes.
Tell me about your first Make 48 here.
My first Make 48 here. So Jimmy, we did one here. Oh boy, so we've done what? This is our third one here, right? So we've done a couple earlier ones. We did one in 2021, and it was a really good challenge. We were working with, it was gardening products, I think, right? And then we followed it up with food and security products as well, back to back. So Jimmy, it's probably, to be honest, we go to do these competitions all over the nation, and this makerspace is the most equipped, one of the best layouts we've seen, and of course very well stocked of all of the equipment that's needed to build almost anything you can think of. As you know, right? We've built and played with a lot of different toys, but yeah, glad to be back in Wichita, and this won't be our last time, put it that way.
Yeah. So how did Make 48 get started? How did you get into this? What's the origin story? Yeah,
my background was product development, and my co-founders, Rich, Bob, and Kurt, they were really good makers. So they were hands-on builders and makers that could build any prototype you could think of. That is not my skill set, right? My skill set was more, if you bring me a prototype that's pretty rough, I can help perfect it, manufacture it, and take it all the way to the consumer. So we knew between us how hard it was to have an idea and make a physical prototype, which is the most important part to try to educate the world, or let's just say a manufacturer or a business partner or a bank, or whatever you may need, right? You need to have a proof of concept of what you're thinking and make sure it works. So we did the competition initially back in Kansas City in 2015, and we also knew that not many people had those skills to build with their hands, only about 5% of the population. So when we did the competition, we wanted to keep a tight timeline of 48 hours because you have to have a timeline to make people continue on in their journey and be under the pressure and innovate and get to the end result. But we brought in all the engineers to help the teams build, right? So that took away all the engineering that was required to build something, and we had the experts do it on behalf of the team. So that's a little bit of a background about how it all got started.
Awesome. So, tell me a little bit about how did you guys get involved with the Kansas State School for the Blind? What was that first phone call?
Yeah, that actually happened from a good friend of ours, David Marshall, our Kansas ambassador at the time. And David was at this event, and we had Envision come to see Make 48 in Wichita. And with that, they had said, hey, you guys must connect with KSSB in Kansas City, the Kansas State School for the Blind. And they have a makerspace, right, for those that are visually impaired. I went and toured that facility and met with Mr. John Harding, and we said, let's give it a shot. Let's do a Make 48 here on campus. It was only a small makerspace, but we brought in the equipment and the tools, and we made a proper event happen. And that was it, Jimmy. And as you know, we've had a couple of events there, got a great relationship with Kansas State School for the Blind, and have been really supportive where we can of Lydia and the team and all the students that want to do this. We are all for it, and we want to make sure that we're an open book when it comes to helping support those that may need it.
Awesome. So, we're 10 seasons in. We're back here in Wichita where it all started. What advice do you have for, the kid who's blind, autism, whatever, I don't care what it is.
Yep.
I graduated high school. I can't find a job. I've came to Make 48 as a tool tech.
Yep.
What's the next step?
Next step, Jimmy, everybody has, I think a network is your most important asset, right? Is to meet people and ask questions. I think a lot of people are too scared for rejection, right? Even if you may have a disability or something along those lines, you still got to ask the question, right? Mm-hmm. And you got to ask people, can I have a job? Can I do something simple? Can I work remotely for you, right? Can you give me something to do? That's, I think, what a lot of people lack is just the confidence to ask the question. And you come to Wichita, right? You come to Go Create, and there is people around here that can build you anything, can help you build. They've got obviously a space here that can allow you to do things like what you've been doing this weekend, right? You're learning from others and sanding and painting and welding and doing whatever you want to do. But you just got to have the confidence to ask, can I work for you? Can I help you? And people will know someone generally, and that will help get you from A to B.
Awesome. So what's coming up for you? You guys have an event in June right here. It might be like a live situation. Tell me about
we're
that.
actually doing our first live event, Jimmy, down in Atlanta. We're going to be at Skills USA convention. So this is a major trade show with 18,000 people that are all doing their own competition, right? Skills USA is all about these kids that are graduating high school that have a skill in the trades, like plumbing, auto mechanics, culinary school, the whole lot, right? These students are really talented, and we're going to be with them in their own conference, and we're going to do Make 48 Live. So this is the first time we'll do it with a live audience as they're walking past watching our teams build, and we'll continue to film it as our TV series. So yeah, first live one in front of 18,000 people, so we're pretty pumped for that.
Yeah. And so, what made you guys decide to? Was the filming process like all along? We're gonna film it, go on to the television and all that good stuff.
No, initially it wasn't. It was more just a competition get together, and then all of a sudden it was like, this is good, could be good television, maybe, right? And then we initially sort of got right into it and become more of a business, right? And when you create content, as you know, when you create content or music in your situation, it becomes, something you got to stick at and be consistent with. And if you want to try to make money, then, it's just like a job or a career. So it got bigger and better and more events and more TV, and we just keep on going.
Yeah. I'm sure as you guys can hear, Tom has a really cool accent. Tell him where you're from and tell him, how did you get here?
Oh, I'm from New Zealand originally, and I grew up on a sheep farm over there. And most New Zealanders, when they get to the point where they graduate school or college, they travel around the world. And I did a lot of traveling, Jimmy. I moved to Australia. And while I was in Australia, I had the chance to come to the US and Canada. And I actually worked in Canada for 12 months on the oil rigs and was a roughneck. And then that journey brought me to America for a holiday, where I happened to meet my wife and met her in Las Vegas, and sat down at a roulette table, and it was probably the biggest gamble I've ever took. I'm still paying it off, Jimmy. I'm still paying off the debt. Eh?
Yeah.
Don't laugh too hard, James. Eh? So that's why we moved back here. We had our family in Australia, and when our youngest son Flynn was born, we moved back to Kansas City, where my wife is from. So that's why we're here in the Midwest and been here 18 years. 18 years.
And today's her birthday.
And today is her birthday, and she cannot be with us, but I think she's quite happy, Jimmy. She's at home, she's seeing her friends and having a nice day by herself, so she's enjoying that.
Yeah. So happy birthday to Amy, who sings this.
Happy birthday, Amy.
Yes. Well, thank you for doing this. I appreciate you. Any final words of advice, encouragement, anything you want to give to these fans and people who see this everywhere?
Yeah, I just hope, just like I said, almost like I said before, Jimmy, it's just, everybody, the world's getting, more challenging, it feels like, here and there, but we've got the world of AI now that can help people get from A to B a lot easier. But again, it goes back to just have the confidence to just ask for something in life, and if you have a dream, you just got to follow it, and people will help connect you to the right people if you just go out and get it. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. This is a wild way to kick off a new season, a new chapter of the social media journey. And
Yep.
you were the first live guest we've had, sit down interview style. So
well, thanks, Jimmy.
thank you to Mike behind the camera. He's helping me get centered up. Thank you to Go Create for having us. Thank you to Tom Gray. Thank you to Courtney for helping event plan and organize this thing and set it up. And it's been fun, guys.
Thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
Good to see you, buddy.
You too. Y'all stay country.